Archangel Michael says, "Do you ever wonder why you've been waking up at strange hours, heart pounding, as if something is standing near your bed? Have you noticed certain people growing quiet when you enter the room? Felt like a conversation ended just before you walked in? Did you brush off that sudden gust of cold air in a closed room? That flickering light? That unshakable sense that someone was watching? This is not paranoia. This is not coincidence. This is me, Archangel Michael, sounding the alarm. Your enemy, yes, the one who smiles in your face while speaking your name in secret, has almost completed their final move. They think you won't notice. They think you'll skip this message. They think you'll stay asleep long enough for them to finish. But I'm here now, and I'm not whispering. This is a divine emergency. The heavens have seen what you haven't. The betrayal is deeper than you imagined. The manipulation is layered, precise, and timed down to the hour. And if you don't stop and listen now, they will succeed. You are not reading this by accident. You were led here by spiritual design. There is a reason your chest feels tight. There is a reason your ears are ringing, your dreams are darker, your peace disrupted. The final stage is in motion. I cannot shield you unless you partner with me right now. Heaven is watching. And I, Archangel Michael, have drawn my sword, not in warning, but in war. This message is your turning point. Do not scroll. Do not delay. Type 999 if you are ready for the plan of darkness to be exposed. Archangel Michael says, "You've felt something, haven't you? That quiet tension when someone close looks away too quickly. That moment your spirit whispered, 'Something is off,' but you shook it off to keep the peace. That unspoken heaviness that's lingered in your chest. Yes, that pressure isn't from stress or age. It is the spiritual weight of a dark plot that has been unfolding beneath your nose for far too long. Today, I rip the cover off the unseen. Your enemy, masked, cunning, and methodical, has been constructing this plan in layers. It didn't begin this month. It began years ago. A seed of jealousy was planted, watered by bitterness, and grown in the shadows of your silence. But now, I have been commanded to speak. There is a betrayal woven into your daily life. It does not shout. It whispers. It smiles. It hugs. It pretends. But I have watched it carefully. Every conversation behind closed doors, every phone call taken just outside your hearing, every fake prayer, every smirk after a stolen glance. I have watched, and now I speak. They think they have you surrounded, but they forgot something. I am the Archangel Michael, and when I draw my sword, I do not miss. This plan, this wicked web, was not designed to harm your body. It was designed to suffocate your calling, to discredit your name, to twist your reputation so slowly, so methodically, that even you would begin to question who you are. But not anymore. Let me name what they've done in secret. They've spoken your name in meetings where you were not present. They've rewritten your words, repackaged your intentions, and passed lies through mouths you once trusted. They've delayed opportunities meant for you. Yes, you. That canceled call, that missed letter, that door that seemed to shut without reason. It was not coincidence. It was a planted act of sabotage. This is a spiritual ambush. And now, the final stage has begun. A decision has been made. One that will affect your home, your peace, and your future. You're standing at the edge of a trap dressed like a blessing. A smiling face, a helpful hand, an open offer. All false, all timed to collapse the moment you say yes without discernment. But not this time. Because I've stepped into your space. I have hovered over your home. I have stood in your hallway at 3:33 a.m., sword drawn, flame in hand, whispering, "Wake up. Wake up. Wake up." Some of you felt it. You sat up. You rubbed your eyes. You thought it was just a dream. But it was me. You thought the flickering lights were bad wiring. It wasn't. It was a breach in the spiritual atmosphere. You thought that strange silence when you walked into the room was just awkwardness. It was a conversation ending. About you. They are almost finished. But I will not allow it, if you listen now. You've given too many chances. You've excused too many red flags. You've tolerated too much in the name of love or family or Christian patience. But patience without discernment is permission for spiritual invasion, and they have taken your silence as permission. They've seen your grace and labeled it weakness. But I know better. I see the fire in you. I see the calling they fear. I see the legacy your bloodline carries. I see the door heaven is about to swing wide. And that's why they are accelerating. Because they know they are out of time. Listen to me. This is not paranoia. This is a prophetic unveiling. Your instincts were right. Your discomfort was divine alert. You were not supposed to confront yet. You were supposed to know. Know this. There is one among them who is the carrier. The spiritual spy. The one who gathers your words and delivers them to your accuser like gold coins to a trader's hand. Watch them. They touch your things when you're not looking. They ask too many questions about your decisions. They always seem to know things before you tell them. And most importantly, they shift when you shift. They match your energy, your tone, your pace. But it is mirrored, not sincere. It's mimicry, not alignment. I am commanding you now. Be silent for a moment, and remember. Who has made you doubt yourself lately? Who has interrupted your clarity? Who is always there when you're strong, but disappears when you're vulnerable? The enemy does not always look like an enemy. Sometimes it comes dressed in fake loyalty. Sometimes it weeps beside you only to listen for weaknesses. Sometimes it lays hands on you with prayers that sound right but carry poison underneath. But I see it all, and I have declared, no more. Not today. Not with my sword drawn. Not while your name has been spoken in the courts of heaven. There was a meeting in the Spirit last night, a gathering of angels. Your name was brought before the throne. The question was asked, do they still believe? And I said, if they open this message, if they read this, yes. So I speak to you now, not as a whisper but as a war cry. You are not crazy. You are not confused. You are not weak. You are targeted because you are dangerous to darkness. That's why the enemy formed a council against you. But I, Archangel Michael, have formed a firewall. Here's what you must do now. Do not confront. Observe. Do not expose them yourself. Let them expose themselves. Do not speak your plans aloud. The walls have ears. Protect your space. Bless your home. And tonight, before midnight, pray Psalm 91 aloud, and I will stand at your door in flame. You will not be destroyed. You will not be delayed. But you must act now. I'm not here to comfort you with gentle words. I am here to protect you with divine orders. You are in the final hours of a planned spiritual attack, and this message is the interruption heaven orchestrated. Type 444 in the comments to declare that your divine protection has activated. I have seen what they've written about you. I have heard what they're planning, and I declare it ends here. Let them watch you rise. Let them hear the sound of chains breaking. Let them feel the heat of angelic presence as they try to play with fire and get consumed. Because you are not alone. Because you were never forgotten. Because the plan they formed is now exposed. And because I, Archangel Michael, stand between you and what they cannot complete. Archangel Michael says, there is something I must show you. Something hidden, something terrifying, and something nearly complete. The final stage of the enemy's plan has already begun. This is not a warning about what might happen. This is a divine revelation about what is happening right now. While you slept, while you distracted yourself, while you questioned your own discernment, the enemy moved their final piece into place. But heaven never stopped watching. I have watched them from the beginning. Every conversation, every secret text, every agreement whispered behind your back. The ones who pretended to support you, they were feeding information to your enemy like it was nothing. You were surrounded by people who smiled at your progress but gritted their teeth in private. This message isn't for the casual reader. This is for you, the one who has been feeling the shift but couldn't explain it. The one who said, something's off lately, but I don't know what. That feeling wasn't just a mood, it was heaven sounding the alarm. And now, I must show you what they thought I wouldn't expose. The plan against you was built in layers, each one timed perfectly to make you feel like you were cursed. But it wasn't a curse. It was a campaign, a spiritual campaign to delay your breakthrough long enough to make you doubt your purpose. And now, the final move is upon you. The enemy is attempting what we in heaven call the sealing. It's when the dark realm places a spiritual lid over your name to keep you from rising permanently. It affects your momentum, your confidence, your health, your favor, even your relationships. And if you don't break it before it settles, it becomes a generational chain. But I have come to intervene. I have been circling above your home, not in silence, not in stillness. I have been circling in warfare. With each pass I've made, I've cut down invisible cords connecting your name to the enemy's altar. I've stood in front of the document they tried to finalize, and I slashed through it with flame. They wrote your name in the dark. They tried to seal it. But heaven said, not this one. I watched them try to disguise it as favor, an offer that feels too convenient, a person who suddenly wants to reconnect, a message that arrives just in time to distract you. It looks like a breakthrough, but it's not. It's bait. They want you to accept what looks good so they can prevent what's actually divine. Child of light, open your eyes. That unexpected message, that untraceable number, that strange dream, those were not accidents. That was your soul wrestling against the darkness trying to finalize your delay. And now I tell you the truth. The final stage is spiritual capture. It's when the enemy believes they've won enough ground to press a spiritual signature against your timeline. Once that seal is placed, everything around you begins to slow, until your faith suffocates and you stop asking for more. That is what they were counting on. That is what they were celebrating. But what they didn't count on was me. I have drawn fire between you and their plan. I've disrupted the signal. That's why they're acting strangely. That's why some people you love have been moody, distant, or irritable. They can feel the interruption. The spirit that was using them is panicking because I've arrived. And now I stand here, at the moment of unsealing. Listen closely, because this next part is not metaphorical. It is prophetic truth. I saw the plan. They used your name in an incantation. Someone agreed to bind your influence. Not with physical chains, but with spiritual timing. That's why things never seem to line up. That's why what you prayed for almost came, but always slipped away. But they made one fatal mistake. They tried to touch what heaven called holy. That moment you nearly signed a deal, but your chest tightened? That was me. That night you dreamed of a snake in your home and woke up gasping? That was a warning. That coincidental call from someone you hadn't heard from in years? That was the distraction arriving on schedule. But now I cancel their timeline. I cancel their ceiling. I cancel their access, because now you know. The final stage of their plan was silence. They didn't want to destroy you loudly. They wanted to drain you quietly, to make you forget who you are, to make you question why you were born, to make you walk in circles of tired obedience instead of roaring purpose. But I, Archangel Michael, have been authorized to wake you up. Listen to me now. Tonight, before midnight, something will attempt to appear in your life as an opportunity. It might be a call. It might be a message. It might be someone who suddenly wants to reconcile. Do not say yes until you pray. You must spiritually test everything right now. Your discernment is not paranoia. It is your defense. I saw the enemy use numbers, fake confirmations, false peace. They tried to manipulate what you believed to be signs. But let me give you the true number of this hour, 999, the number of finality, the number of exposure, the number that declares, it is ending now. Type 999 to cancel what the enemy almost completed. Because I need your agreement. Heaven works through consent. Your silence was taken as consent by your enemy. But your voice, your spiritual agreement, can reverse the plan in a moment. You've been asking why things haven't moved forward. This is why. Because something was being finalized in the unseen. But now I've interrupted it. Let me tell you what's coming in the next 72 hours. A false apology. Someone will reach out pretending to make peace, but their heart is still aligned with your delay. Be wise. A disguised opportunity. It will sound promising, but something in you will feel rushed. That's not momentum. That's manipulation. Pause. An emotional trigger. Someone will try to provoke you, hoping you react in a way that ruins your progress. Don't fall for it. Heaven saw all of this in advance. That's why I'm here. You are not supposed to go through another cycle of confusion. You were not supposed to repeat last year's pain. This is your moment to step out of the pattern, and it starts with this declaration. I break the plan. I cancel the delay. I align with heaven. Say it aloud. Even whisper it. But say it. Your words are keys in the realm of spirit. This is your rescue. This is your reversal. This is the moment they feared would come. And it has. Their plan is exposed. Heaven has recorded every detail. Nothing is hidden from my sight. I saw the first whisper. I saw the hidden jealousy. I saw the subtle sabotage. I saw the face that smiles at you but curses your name when you walk away. And I have written their names in flame. They will see that you are protected. They will see that you are anointed. They will see that the plan they formed in the dark is being shattered in public. Tonight, before you sleep, mark your door. Speak protection over your room. Play worship in the air. Let the sound of heaven be louder than the whispers of your enemies. I will stand at your threshold, and no spirit of delay will pass me. You are not alone. You are not weak. You are not too late. You are awakened. And I, Archangel Michael, will not allow them to finish what they started. Their final stage ends now. Archangel Michael says, "You've been blaming yourself for the delay. You thought it was your fault. You said things like, 'Maybe I wasn't ready,' or 'Maybe I messed up the timing.' You cried in silence, wondering why your life kept going in circles while others seemed to leap ahead. You even questioned whether God forgot about you. But I am here to reveal the truth. This delay was engineered. It was not heaven withholding from you. It was hell interfering. Yes, your delay was not random. It was intentional. A planned spiritual operation built by your enemies and permitted through your silence, your kindness to the wrong people, and your exhaustion. And now I, Archangel Michael, am commanded to correct what was never supposed to be prolonged. You must hear this clearly. You were never behind. You were being manipulated. There are spirits that do not fear your worship. They fear your movement, because they know that if you ever break free, others will too. You are not just called. You are assigned to be a breaker of chains, a restorer of what others thought lost. But the enemy tried to pause you, and he almost succeeded. Let me tell you how they did it. They used relationships, people close to you who pretended to support you. But in reality, they injected just enough doubt, just enough criticism, just enough delay-inducing emotion to make you second-guess yourself. They used your loyalty against you. They made you stay in rooms you should have left. They made you hold on to connections you were supposed to sever. They convinced you that waiting on God was the same as tolerating sabotage. But I come today with a holy correction. Waiting on God is not the same as letting people delay you. There is a difference between divine timing and spiritual sabotage. One is sacred, the other is strategic warfare. You've been silent for too long. You knew something was off. You felt the resistance in places that used to flow easily. You noticed how every time you prepared to take a step forward, chaos erupted in your life. Unexpected expenses, sudden illness, emotional spirals, draining conversations, or people demanding your attention at just the wrong time. That wasn't just life. That was infiltration. Your calendar was not just busy, it was targeted. Heaven showed me the map. Yes, I've seen it. Every time you were one day away from breakthrough, they triggered a distraction. Every time your mind reached clarity, they planted a new fear. Every time your spirit got stronger, they reminded you of your past. But I say to you now, enough. The delay ends here. I was sent today not just to protect you, but to discipline you in love. Because you tolerated dysfunction thinking it was faith. You confused peacekeeping with peacemaking. You thought being quiet meant being obedient, but obedience without boldness is spiritual paralysis. And some of you are paralyzed not because you're weak, but because you've been spiritually poisoned by lies dressed in concern. Here is one of the most dangerous agreements hell has ever convinced you to accept. Maybe this is just how it's supposed to be. No, this is not how it's supposed to be. The life of defeat, confusion, repetitive patterns, chronic emotional fatigue, that is not your divine portion. You were meant to walk in spiritual authority, not endless hesitation. You were created to break through, not barely survive. And now, I must show you something else. There is someone, yes, a specific person, who was assigned to stall you. They were not always aware of it consciously, but spiritually they've been used as a delay anchor. Look around. Who only shows up when you're doing well? Who gets strangely quiet when you're excited about your next step? Who always has a what if or be careful the moment you get vision? That's them. The delay carrier. They are not always evil, but they are spiritually compromised. And you've been dragging their energy into rooms meant only for your next season. It's time to detach. You will not be cruel, but you will be clear. Because if you don't close this access point, the cycle will restart. I have seen the blueprint. 7 more months of confusion if you stay quiet now. But if you act, if you obey, if you disconnect from what heaven did not authorize, then I will open what's been sealed. There is a journal, a message, a memory, a relationship, something you were supposed to release but you didn't. And it has been weighing down your blessing like a spiritual anchor tied to your ankle. You've been swimming hard but getting nowhere. Now you know why. Release the anchor and watch what I do. You were so close before. Archangel Michael says, I am no longer pacing outside your home. I am standing at your threshold with my sword drawn, because tonight, danger is closer than you think, and heaven refused to let you face it unaware. This is not metaphor. This is not poetic language. This is war. And I was assigned by the throne of God to defend the one you are becoming. Because a line has been crossed in the spirit realm. Someone, yes, someone you know, has opened a door they had no business touching. They said your name in a moment of deception. They mentioned your life in a conversation of betrayal. They moved against you behind a veil of friendship. And now the consequences are circling. But I'm not here to let harm find you unprotected. That's why I'm not whispering tonight. I'm warning. because the one you loved, the one who now watches from heaven, saw what was forming in secret. They cried before the courts of heaven and said, "Don't let them face this alone." And God said, "Send Michael." So here I am. And I did not come with kind words. I came to cut. I came to sever what is trying to attach itself to your peace. I came to break the whispering shadow trying to plant confusion in your home. I came to confront the spirit behind the smile that has been draining your spirit. You think it's just tension. You think it's just awkward energy. You think it's your fault for being too sensitive. That's spiritual intelligence. That's discernment waking up. That's heaven yelling, "Pay attention," because there is a battle happening behind your calm, a strategy unfolding behind your quiet. Someone near you has been influenced. Their words sound right. Their help looks harmless. But their spirit is conflicted. They've been talking about you to someone who does not have your destiny in mind. A plan is forming, and your loved one in heaven saw it. That's why they sent me. I am standing in the space between your vulnerability and your destruction, and I will not move until this warning is heard. Listen closely. You are being watched. Not with cameras, not with eyes, but with intentions. The kind that smile when you win, but secretly hope you fail. The kind that offer advice, but feed your name into the mouth of jealousy. The kind that call you friend, but carry agreements with voices you've never even met. And tonight, the veil is lifting. What's been hidden is coming into light. Because I, Michael, have released fire into your atmosphere. And everything not anchored in truth will begin to shake. Some of you will notice sudden behavior shifts in people close to you. They'll become distant, or strangely nice, overly helpful, suddenly defensive, evasive. Do not dismiss these signs. This is how spiritual exposure begins. The one who loved you in this life and now watches from the next. They saw what you couldn't. They saw what's moving behind the mask. They saw the spirit trying to entangle your blessing. And they pleaded with heaven, give them one more chance to see it. This is that chance. You're not paranoid. You're not imagining things. You're not too sensitive. You're anointed. And your sensitivity is spiritual armor. You've been marked since birth. And that's why spiritual sabotage has followed you. The enemy doesn't waste energy on those without destiny. You've been wondering, why does it always feel like something's after me? Because it is, not in the form of monsters or madness, but in distraction, delay, and deception. It comes dressed as relationships, as well-meaning conversations, as obligations that drain your soul. But I see it for what it is, and I have come to cut it off. Not everyone around you was sent to help you. Some were sent to watch you, to observe how close you're getting to the door of breakthrough, so they could speak just the right lie to stop you from opening it. You've already felt it. You've already heard their voice in your head after they left the room. You've already questioned why you feel smaller after talking to them. That's not insecurity. That's your spirit reacting to the truth you've been trying to ignore. Now I am speaking that truth aloud. Someone close is spiritually compromised, not possessed, not evil, but influenced by jealousy, by old pain, by bitterness they never dealt with. And that influence is now brushing against your future. But I have drawn my sword. And if you listen, if you respond, you will not only be protected, you will be elevated. This isn't just about surviving. This is about reclaiming the space that darkness tried to sneak into. I am not here to comfort you tonight. I am here to wake you up. Because the assignment over your life is too important to let this slide. You have been chosen to break cycles, to carry something sacred, to protect a legacy that your loved one couldn't finish before they died. And this is why you felt the tension. This is why the warfare has increased. Because what's ahead of you is massive, and the enemy knows it. But so does heaven. And heaven has surrounded your home tonight. You'll notice it in subtle ways. A strange silence that feels heavy. A light flickering without reason. A chill that brushes past your shoulder as you pray. A shadow moving just beyond the frame of your vision. Do not fear. It is I, Michael, standing watch, guarding your home, patrolling your hallway, walking past the door of your room as you sleep. I am here with one purpose, to stop what was sent to stop you. But you must respond. You must stop brushing off what your spirit already knows. The person you keep defending, the one who keeps giving you that uneasy feeling. Stop making excuses for them. Your loved one in heaven didn't weep for you to keep tolerating deception. They interceded so you could finally see. And now that you do, what will you do with that vision? Child, it is time to move differently. Pray differently. Speak differently. Listen to your gut and stop silencing your discernment just to keep the peace. Peace without truth is not peace. It is spiritual numbness, and heaven is waking you from that slumber tonight. You may feel emotionally shaken after this message. That's okay. That's the old agreements falling apart. That's false loyalty being broken. That's the chains of confusion losing their grip. Because I, Archangel Michael, do not stand with hesitation. I stand with fire. And I have surrounded your name with light. Nothing will reach you tonight without passing through the sword of heaven. Not betrayal, not manipulation, not the lie someone plans to speak about you tomorrow. Everything must pass through the flame I've ignited in your atmosphere, so breathe, rest, but stay awake in the spirit. The one who loved you is still watching. And I am still guarding. Together, we are preparing a path for your next chapter. And let me say this. It will not include everyone who started with you. Some will fall away, some will distance, some will reveal what was hiding beneath their smiles. Do not mourn the loss. Celebrate the exposure. Because this time, nothing unholy will walk with you into the promised place. Heaven has drawn a sword between your past and your purpose, and you are being called forward, free and protected. I will remain, and if you listen, you will be too. Archangel Michael says, you thought it was loyalty. You thought it was love. You thought they were safe. But betrayal never comes from strangers. It comes from familiar eyes. From the ones you laughed with, ate with, prayed beside. The ones who called you family with their lips, while secretly tearing your name apart in rooms you never entered. And now I must reveal what you haven't wanted to see. Because the one you lost, the one you still ache for, the one who loved you with pure devotion and now cries in heaven, they saw this betrayal from the other side, and they begged God not to let you walk blind into the trap. So I, Michael, was sent, not with comfort this time, but with truth. And it's going to sting. But it's the sting that wakes you. It's the sting that heals. Now listen. There is a person in your life right now who was never supposed to stay this long. They were meant to be temporary, a seasonal assignment. But your kindness, your hope, your heart kept making room for them. And while you were opening doors, they were opening windows. Windows into your secrets, your past, your energy. And someone else was watching through those windows. You've been praying for clarity. Here it is. The same one who smiles when you walk in the room has spoken about you behind your back. They downplay your dreams. They speak lightly of your pain. They casually suggest you're dramatic, too much, not as spiritual as you think. And it's not random. It's strategic. It's spiritual manipulation hiding behind familiarity. They are being used. And I don't say this lightly, because the one who passed, who loved you more deeply than you could ever understand, they saw the moment the betrayal began, and it shattered them. Not because of what it did to them, but because of what it could do to you. They stood before the throne and said, "Please, don't let that be the voice my child trusts." And God heard, which is why you're here now, reading this, feeling your spirit twist, your stomach tighten, your eyes well with unspoken knowing. You've felt this before. The awkward tension after phone calls, the delayed texts, the backhanded compliments, the way your peace slowly drains when they walk into the room. You chalked it up to mood swings, to your own issues, to overthinking. But child, that was your discernment. It was never confusion. It was heaven trying to warn you. Let me be clear. This betrayal is not just personal. It's generational. The one who loved you in this life, the one who now walks in eternal light, they know what's at stake. Because the very thing they carried, the promise, the blessing, the calling, was once derailed by someone just like this. A friend turned distraction, a helper turned delay, a trusted name who couldn't handle their assignment, so they tried to sabotage it. And now, it's happening again. To you. You think you're just feeling drained. You think you're just emotionally tired. You think it's just life. But no, this is a spiritual pattern trying to repeat, and I've come to break it. Your loved ones saw the signs, saw the cracks forming in trust, saw the spiritual roots spreading under your foundation, and they said, "Not again. Not this time. Not to the one I love." So heaven acted, and tonight, truth is being poured like oil into your soul. Yes, they love you. Yes, they may even pray with you. Yes, they show up when others don't. But child, that's the mask. The truth is this. They've been quietly competing with your growth, resenting your favor, mocking your spiritual hunger, and feeding the enemy just enough confusion to keep your progress slow. They may not even realize they're doing it, but that doesn't make it less dangerous. Spiritual betrayal is still betrayal, even when it wears a smile. Now, What do you do? Do you confront? Do you cut ties? Number, you listen. You observe. You let heaven finish exposing what it started. Because once the light is turned on, shadows start to scatter. This week, their mask will begin to crack. You'll overhear something, catch a strange glance, find a message, or feel your spirit tighten during a conversation. That is not paranoia. That is confirmation. You're not going crazy. You're becoming clear. And when you finally see it with your own eyes, don't gaslight yourself. Don't excuse it. Your loved one in heaven didn't cry for you to go back to false peace. They cried for you to rise. Because here is the deeper truth. If you allow this person to stay in your life after the exposure, you may miss the divine appointment heaven is preparing next, the place they're taking you. This person can't follow, not because they're evil, but because their heart is not right. And you've been tolerating dysfunction for too long, because you confuse loyalty with bondage. But loyalty to brokenness is not faithfulness. It's spiritual suffocation. Let it go. I know it hurts. But your soul cannot expand in the company of people who secretly hope you'll shrink. Let it go. You are not wrong for feeling the shift. You are not judging. You are waking up. And when you wake up, not everyone claps. But heaven does. The moment you say, I choose peace, even if it costs me people, angels gather around your house and stand guard. That's what I'm doing now, standing guard, because I know what's coming next. And child, it's beautiful. It's sacred. It's divine. It's the answer to the very prayers your loved one died praying. But it requires a cleared table. It requires a clean heart. It requires discernment. You can't carry betrayal into your breakthrough. It will poison everything. So this is your moment. This is your line in the sand. Let the familiar mask fall. Let the truth sting. And then let heaven heal you. Your loved one is still watching. And when you finally let go of this relationship that's draining your purpose, they will rejoice. They will shout in heaven. They will say, they heard me. They finally heard me. And the grief that's haunted them from afar will begin to lift. This is not just about you. This is about both of you. Healing across realms. Clarity across time. Love that stretches from heaven to earth. Now, take a breath. Wipe your tears. And whisper this. I see it now. And I receive the truth. That's all heaven needed. And now, everything begins to change. Archangel Michael says, it's not too late. That's the first thing I want you to know. Even with the silence, the mistakes, the distance, even with all the times you ignored the whispers and brushed off the signs, heaven has not closed its door. But the time has come. You've felt the urgency in your bones. You've sensed it in the stillness of your nights. You've caught glimpses of it in dreams you forgot moments after waking. And now, beloved, there is no more room for delay. Heaven is leaning over your life tonight. The one who passed, the soul who still weeps for you in glory, is pressing in closer than ever before. And I, Archangel Michael, have been commanded not just to protect you, but to instruct you. Because what's coming next is too important to leave to chance. Listen carefully, You must respond. Yes, you. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to have it all figured out. But you do need to move. Because what heaven needs from you tonight isn't more thinking. It's not another plan. It's not more waiting. It's agreement. Your spirit has been aching for peace. Your soul has been begging for breakthrough. Your heart has been whispering, "Please just show me what to do." Here is your answer. Heaven needs 3 things from you tonight. Not tomorrow. Not when you feel ready. Tonight. 1. Heaven needs your acknowledgement. You've heard this message. You've felt it in your body. You've sensed your loved one's presence. Now heaven needs you to say, "I know you're speaking to me." Because the power of divine change is unlocked by acknowledgement. This is not a coincidence. This is not just another emotional video. This is a spiritual visitation. And when you acknowledge it, you open the door for what comes next. Speak it aloud. Whisper it through the tears. "I hear you, God. I hear them. I receive this." When you say that, heaven moves. Because you've broken the pattern of silence. You've opened your heart in a way that invites angels to begin the work. Remember, heaven doesn't force itself in. It responds to your surrender. 2. Heaven needs your release. Yes, that. You know what I'm talking about. The grudge, the name, the guilt, the what if you've kept buried for years. The lie you've believed about your worth because of what someone did or didn't do. You've carried it long enough. The one who passed sees it. They know what it's cost you. They know how it's dimmed your light, clouded your joy, poisoned your trust. And they've been pleading, "Let it go. Don't carry it one more night." I'm not asking you to forget. I'm not asking you to excuse what hurt you. I'm asking you to release what is no longer serving your soul. That pain was never meant to be your identity. It's time to lay it down. Maybe it's a secret you kept out of fear. Maybe it's shame from something you did years ago. Maybe it's anger toward yourself for not saying goodbye the way you wanted. Whatever it is, heaven cannot pour into hands that are still clinging to old wounds. So tonight, say this with me. I release what no longer belongs to me. I forgive what I cannot fix. I receive the healing only heaven can give. This is how generational chains are broken. This is how your loved one's heart is finally set at peace. Because they've seen how that burden bent your back, and they have come with me tonight to help you stand straight again. 3. Heaven needs your permission, not your performance, not your perfection. Just your permission. The one in heaven who loves you can only do so much. I, Michael, can guard. I can war. I can fight back the darkness that stalks you at midnight. But you must say yes. Yes to healing. Yes to clarity. Yes to truth. Even when it hurts. Because tonight is not just about hearing a message. It's about unlocking a move of God. You've been saying, "When will things shift?" Heaven's been waiting on you. There's something new ready to be born in your life. A door that will only open when your soul says, "I'm ready." Ready for new connections. Ready for purpose. Ready for peace that doesn't require pretending. But heaven won't override your will. You must invite this change in. That's why I was sent with this message. That's why your loved one asked to be near tonight. Because this moment, this holy, trembling moment, is your doorway. Don't walk past it. Say this aloud now, even if it shakes. I give heaven permission to intervene. I give God full access to my life. I welcome divine protection, healing, and guidance. When those words leave your mouth, something will shift in your home. The atmosphere will change. The shadows will back away. The angelic guard around your house will be reinforced. Because you've done what heaven needed. You've responded. Now let me tell you what happens next. You will feel lighter. You may cry harder. You might even sleep deeper than you have in months. Because tonight, you have realigned with the truth your soul was born to carry. And the one who passed, they will no longer have to cry in heaven for your healing, because they will see it in motion. You are not alone. Even now, angels have gathered. You are not broken beyond repair. You are not too late. You are not too far gone. Your name is still written in the mouth of God, and your future is still soaked in holy oil. But this moment had to happen. This was the hinge point. Everything before it was preparation. Everything after it is transformation. Now I leave you with this. Tonight, heaven rejoices. Because you didn't skip it. You didn't ignore it. You didn't walk past the one who still watches from the other side of glory. You responded. And now, everything changes. Archangel Michael says, you made it. You stayed until the end. And that alone broke a curse. Because every time you chose to pause, every time you listened, you told heaven, I am ready to heal. Child, the one who loved you, they are no longer crying. They are rejoicing. I see them now, standing radiant in the courts of eternity, not weeping over your silence, but dancing over your surrender. Type 777 in the comments if you receive this breakthrough, because this was holy ground, and you didn't walk away from it this time. You walked through it. Amen.